Well, hello and welcome back, everybody.
Yes, good
It's
morning.
Tuesday, directly after Momentum Academy, and we are still on a high from that amazing event in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you were there, you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. And if you weren't, we can't even share it with you because
not even
it
close.
won't even transcend into how amazing it really was. But here we are again for this week's team call. It's the SC1 factory team call where we help you realize your potential, build belief, and start building your dreams by helping others one at a time. So you can subscribe for the recordings of these calls. YouTube, it's Team Freedom Reigns. The QR code there will take you directly there. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, get notifications because we are uploading content every single week. And this week, you are invited every Tuesday morning to join this Zoom with the same Zoom ID and passcode that is listed on this slide right here. So welcome, welcome everybody. So glad to have you here with us. And if you are watching as a replay, would love to hear from you too. So moving in here, guys, I don't know if you are aware or not, but you should be getting this amazing email from corporate every single week. So we're just going to give you a quick glimpse of what's in it. It gives you all the important dates for the month, as well as the opportunities that are starting for Portugal. We're launching Portugal. And the Achievers Reward. This is the promotion that corporate is offering to us where you can make more money with the work that you're doing. New LTO summer Axio flavors, passion fruit guava and orange cream were launched at the event in Vegas. It's so good. And you know, everybody has a mother and every mother deserves a great gift and we have got them for them. So all kinds of amazing things for you to be able to get for your own mother or for yourself or for helping other be the best gift givers they possibly can. So this is a rundown of the email that you should have in your own email. Go check it out. This one, especially the Activation Nation podcast, where Skylar Fobbs actually helps you understand how to maximize the Achievers Reward, their social media training tips, and more. Oh, by the way, this is the more. The activation tour is starting this next week here in Arizona, actually. So we're super excited to take advantage of that and get our prospects there. So please make sure that you go and you check out your email for the Momentum Monday email. It would have been in your email on Monday for all of the announcements and everything you need to know. This coming Thursday, we will start back up with the opportunity presentations on Zoom that we're doing every Thursday night. It is at the same time, which is 5 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's a quick 30 to 35-minute opportunity presentation where you can get your prospects on this Zoom to learn how they can start their own micro franchise partnered with a publicly traded company. And it is a great opportunity for you to come out of the gates fast from Vegas to be able to share. I mean, seriously, Vegas was,
Incredible.
and it's not, I'm not using the cliche of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas because I would love to be able to tell everything that happened in Vegas to you and to be able to put the energy and belief and the breakthrough that happened there into your hands. But it's so hard to do that, especially from this event, because I would say this event was the most impactful LifeVantage event I have ever attended.
Yeah, I
And
would say me as
we have
well.
been to so many. Breaking a board with our own hands and holding boards for others to break was powerful. E-power, if you want to ask Brian Byro, that was our
And what
amazing.
does the E stand for?
It's energy.
Energy. Yes.
Energy. All right. Well, if you were not at Momentum Academy, make sure that you get registered for Global Convention because you do not want to miss two events in a row and you don't want to miss what comes at these events, the fire, the energy, the belief, everything that happens that you can't get if you're not there. So please make sure that you're registered for Global Convention. It is in Salt Lake City at the Salt Palace, October 21st through 24th. And don't wait to get everything taken care of. Make sure that you get registered, get your room, get your flights. And you know, just a tip, a pro tip for you, especially if you fly like Southwest or something like that. You can get your flights at a price that you think is a really good deal. And then as they have sales throughout the next 6 months, you can check to see what your price you paid is and the price that they're offering, whatever discounts they're offering. And you can actually then cancel and rebook your flight to get the better price. So you just want to make sure you commit and you get everything set so that you are there in Salt Lake City in October. Okay, so last week we started up this new 11-week series that we're really excited about. It's all about how to become part of the 1%. Now, this is not how you're going to build a business that is so big that you're considered in the 1%. No, this is about how you build yourself and how you become someone that is a 1%er. So we're super excited to be able to move forward with this, helping you really win utilizing our simple system of ITT, because that was one of the major messages from Momentum Academy is we've got to share the whole story simply. We need to keep it simple. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the reins, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. And if you have been on any level of the pulse of the industry, meaning network marketing, I'm talking outside of LifeVantage, you are seeing something pretty interesting. All the top coaches and mentors in our space, people like Rob Sperry, for example, Todd Falcone, Fraser Brooks, Bob Heilig, Eric Worre, they're all talking about the same message, getting back to basics. Because one of the things that happened with social media, and social media, let's be completely honest, it literally burst on the scene and changed everything for a while. And then what was working in the beginning, whether it was ad tag message or whether it was creating curiosity in your posts or whatever, it worked for a while. And then it just stopped working because everybody was doing the same thing. And so it became the flavor of the month, as Marcel Niederhauser, one of our top people in our company, talks about. Well, one of the things that changes is when everybody does the same thing, people go the opposite direction, because what used to be new and bold and revolutionary becomes familiar and stale and dull. And the energy crashes, the enrollments crash, and the results crash. And the entire industry has experienced that. And we have experienced that, obviously. So all of these top leaders and coaches and mentors in the space, they're all talking about getting back to basics. But the interesting thing is this, is when something changes and it seems new and it seems shiny, sometimes an entire industry will go in that direction. And that's what happened. And we got away from the basics, the things that have always worked, like showing a genuine interest in somebody, becoming a problem solver as opposed to a curiosity creator. And so I love the fact that we're kind of, the pendulum is swinging back to the true north of this industry, that this industry, in my opinion, and I heard it twice from stage at the Momentum Academy, is that it is probably the most noble profession. Because one, the premise of success in this industry is the only way you individually and corporately as a team leader and the expansiveness of your team, the only way we can be successful is to help other people be successful. It's based on win-win. Traditional business is not based on that. Corporate America is not based on that. And the hourly 9 to 5 is not based on that. In order for you to win, someone else must lose. And this is the most noble profession, I think, in the world. And the other thing, it's made to solve problems. The bigger the problem you solve, the more impact you make, the more successful you are. That, again, is win-win. It's based on kindness. It's based on caring. It's based on human relationships. So forget about the selling. Forget about the creating curiosity. Let's start focusing on solving problems, because people don't buy products. They buy solutions. They buy hope and they buy transformation. And guess what? We're in the business of doing that. So we just need to be more vocal and more loud and more proud and stepping outside of our comfort zone and sharing this with people, because let's also be honest, there's more problems in the world right now than has ever been in recorded history. So which gives us the biggest opportunity to impact the world and help people.
Yeah, and you know what this is it's actually you really recognizing what we have in our hands, standing on and having the posture around what our opportunity is, how we help people make money, how we help people have better health experiences, how we help people have better community right? And then being bold about that message. We need to be more bold about what we have to offer instead of, it's like, yeah, we were taught for so long to do curiosity posts and to make people lean in and all that kind of stuff. Well, people are leaning in, but they're not doing anything with the lean. They're just getting bad backaches, right? We need to be bold with what we can actually help people with so that they start saying, all right, raising their hand, right? So if you don't have the belief, you got to get the belief first. But we want to shift your identity from thinking that you have to sell this opportunity or you have to sell or convince people to get these products, because that's not it at all. You're here to help them, and you need to be bold with what you have to do that with.
Boom. Solving problems.
Yes.
Because this is a shift. It's a pivot. Because here's the reality: problem solvers win. And pain creates attention. In other words, when people are having physical pain, they pay attention. When they're having psychological pain, when they're having spiritual pain, when they're having emotional pain, they pay attention.
When they're having financial pain,
they pay attention and they look for solutions. And the people that show up to solve the problems are the winners personally, but they also help the person win. This industry and this process is a win-win, and relevance builds trust among people. And the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the most successful business books by Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey's son wrote a book called The Speed of Trust. And without trust, business slows down. With trust, business accelerates. So trust is inevitable. Trust is mandatory. And solutions create value. When you have a solution for someone, there's inherent value in it. And the trust, it lowers resistance, because people that are in need of something are also somewhat cautious because of the way we talked about before, stop selling. Because there are very gifted salespeople. And the most, let's say, financially rewarded salespeople are the ones that solve the problems according to the person who has the problem and what their needs are. So think of it this way. And I hate to be sold, but I love to buy something I see value in, especially if it meets a need that I have and I trust the person. And so think of you walk into an appliance store and you're looking for a refrigerator. What if the person asks you, well, what are you looking? You're obviously in the refrigerator section, so you're looking for a refrigerator. What are your frustrations? And you're going to see that on a slide here in the couple. What are your frustrations? What are you looking for? If it's simply, I want to keep my food cold, then pretty much the base model is your best model. But if it's like, I want to keep my food cold without freezing my vegetables and without having, when I crack an egg open, it's frozen on the inside, but the stuff above it on the upper shelves aren't. Those are frustrations. So there's a different model for that with a nice crisper drawer and all of those kinds of things. So depending upon what your needs are, but what do you got to do? You have to listen for the relevance and provide the solution that meets the person's need, not a sales or a transaction in your business, because you don't want people doing you favors, which is kind of how this industry used to run. Well, you want to help people with their problems. In other words, you're doing them a favor. And if they recognize this person is doing me a favor, they start to trust you, they start to refer to you, and they bring their friends along. Now, if there's a business opportunity open to it, they'll probably join you. And what was one big thing we heard from stage multiple times? Share the entire opportunity. Don't ever leave out the business. The whole story. Because a lot of people that would love products, but they can't afford them because they don't have enough money. And so if you're talking about products that they can't afford, you're not building trust, you're building separation. But if you show them, hey, there's a business attached to this, that if you're having money issues, then this will help you afford the products and also get some finances in your pocket.
You know what else it's also doing when someone can't afford the products you're offering? You're not purposefully doing this, but you're creating a seed of shame.
Yes.
When somebody can't afford something, yes, that is something that develops so much shame. And shame is one of those things that it can completely change the trajectory of somebody's life. And so if we can help them avoid the shame, come up with a powerful way for them to increase their income and get the products, that empowers them and helps them, really become what we're trying to do here with this 1% series, right? We help them evolve into this person that can become a 1%er. So it's like shame is no point.
It's a no-go.
Yeah. Anything else you got here?
Nope, you're good.
Okay.
All right. So we have to change our role and stop being a seller and start being a listener and become a problem solver, an educator, a guide, and a trusted voice. Because when you have earned someone's trust, they start to disclose more information, sometimes more transparent information, sometimes more vulnerable. And sometimes a deeper level of trust is built when someone can confide in you. And when they can confide in you and not just to listen, because we're not therapists. So don't some of the times that when we meet with somebody and we provide a solution, we feel like we've done good for them in a therapeutic way, but we're not therapists. We're just hope brokers. We are change makers. And so when you can change your role from selling to offering solutions to people, you're going to exponentially scale your relevance, your confidence, your ability to feel good about what you're doing. Because when you are a guide and you're listening to people, it builds trust first. And then it offers directions to people because there's a lot of people once they have the veil over their eyes lifted, they can see possibilities they never saw before. They can see themselves stepping into a legacy they never saw themselves doing before. And it's rapidly happening when you offer solutions, you offer wins, little victories, which turn into big victories, which turn into literally giving somebody the opportunity to change their entire family legacy.
So when I'm thinking about this, it's like I want you to make sure that you have a direct understanding of what we're talking about and stop being a seller. We're not telling you to stop selling products.
No.
Absolutely not, because that's what is the lifeblood of our business, right? We sell products and we give this opportunity, right? Well, so just think about it this way. Have you ever like checked your breath before you went into a room? Just to make sure that you don't have stinky breath, right? And when you have that stinky breath, you pop in some gum or a mint or something like that, right? So just take a hesitation before you offer or start to talk about this opportunity or these products or the community and everything that is so good that comes with what we have to offer. Check your breath. Do you have seller's breath? Are you going in there with a thought process that you've got to get, you've got to have, you've got to? Or are you going in there with, oh my gosh, I wonder what kind of person I'm going to meet today. I wonder what their needs are. I wonder how I can help them, right? And so when you're doing that, when you shift that mindset to where it's not all about you, right? It's not about you in this game, by the way. It's not about you. It's about that other person that you're getting ready to meet or you're getting to ready to sit down with. So it's kind of that, you know, thought process, the same thing as popping some gum in your mouth. Just shift your mindset just a little bit to where you're going in with a thought process of how can I serve? How can I help? What solution do I have that this person's going to need, right? Instead of it's all about me, it's all about them. Put some gum in, baby. Put some gum in.
Be a guy. I just got the visual of if you're in a grocery store and you've got a cart full of food and you're getting ready to check out, and you've got the self-help lane where you can go and you can scan everything yourself, you can bag everything yourself. I think people have gotten out of the habit, or there's now a void of the convenience factor is great, but when that convenience factor forces you to be alone, we're missing the human element. Because one of the things about, especially in prison, putting somebody in solitary confinement is a form of punishment because we literally start to lose our minds. We are social creatures. So and I've seen this happen, I do this all the time. If I've got my cart, whether I got a cart or the little basket, and I can check out myself, I would rather find a checkout lane where somebody's pleasant, they're engaging, they're conversational. I'd rather wait in line to talk to another human than walk up to an open thing and check myself out. Now, if time is constrained and I got to be somewhere, that's obviously the convenience factor. But the social interaction is even more. So when it's all about you, like Marci said, yeah, you may have commission breath and you may make commission off of it, but who ultimately is blessing? And what are you teaching people? Because everything duplicates. The thing that duplicates the best and has the most impact is kindness, lovingness, and caring. Or as my dad used to say, giving a crap about somebody.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you change your role from seller. Because again, the only way we make commissions and we build a business is if people buy products from us. But giving somebody the opportunity to buy the product they need that solves the problem they have is much better than selling them something, and the fact that they're doing you a favor. That was the old way of doing things. Things have changed.
Yeah, 100%.
So here's some power questions to start people thinking and create the environment of trust where both people are leaning in. What is your biggest frustration? Now, there may be the topic they're talking about an injury. Like I just had a discussion with a patient yesterday. We have hiking in common, and she was hiking in the White Tank Mountains, which are not far from us, and she slid down the hill and broke 2 bones in her foot. And now she's going to be in a cast. And her frustration is she can't take advantage of this great weather before it starts to get triple digits and go out hiking because she was scatterbrained. She was looking at her phone, wasn't watching where she was walking, and it cost her a few months and maybe even a surgery. She goes in today for a consultation. So what's her frustration? We were talking about, she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. Well, that's just one aspect. There's a lot of people that are in the same boat. And if you ask the question, what are your biggest frustrations, or what are your biggest needs that you would love to have some help with? What have you tried? What have you tried is opening the conversation with, guess what they've tried and that hasn't worked. Because if they're still frustrated, whatever they've tried hasn't worked, which means if you ask that question, it's really establishing right away, are they open for other options? Or are they just, you know what, I'm just going to resign myself. I'm going to live with these aches and pains for the rest of my life. Or I'm going to live paycheck to paycheck for the rest of my life because nobody's stopping to show some concern. What are your biggest frustrations? What have you tried? And what do you love? What would you love to improve? These are just ways of priming the pump or greasing the skids or starting the conversation. And are you open to something that may help or may change everything? If I had something that could change that, would you want me to share it with you? Then they're like, of course. If you didn't share with me, I would question our friendship. That's the kind of responses you're going to get. So this is not about putting someone in an awkward situation. And that's one of the things that this has plagued this industry for decades. I don't want to bother my friends and family. Well, that's only from somebody who's been previously bothered by a friend or family member, because everything duplicates. Remember that. So if somebody's saying that, they probably have been victimized by that very process. But if someone cares and takes the time to ask them these kinds of questions, and these are just the start. You can formulate your own questions on what would be more easily coming out of your mouth. But questions remove pressure from people and they create engagement. They create a dialogue. And the more people talk about their problems, the bigger your opportunity to solve them becomes, and the more they own the solution that you can give them. You just have to point the direction, enable the process. And if you are also we didn't. Only the leadership knows what's coming about making this whole thing easier. So we got some really good secrets that are coming out pretty soon. But this process.
Well, I'm pretty dang sure that the rest of the field knows.
Yeah, so they didn't tell us to keep it secret, but.
So basically our whole shopping experience is going to be changing. Our whole websites are going to be changing. Our whole back office is going to be changing, and not just changing, but major
Upgrade.
Upgrades. Yeah, upgrades. So if you've ever heard of Shopify before, we are going to have the power of Shopify. We are going to have the power of simple checkout. We're going to have the power of a website that actually has a step-by-step complete opportunity presentation built right into it. It is going to be so beautiful. It's going to simplify things, and it's going to empower you to be able to sit down with someone, open up your own website, and just go through the different things that make up our opportunity presentation. Basically, your story, company story, how we get paid.
Boom.
Powerful, and quick, easy checkout. They can check out with Shop. How many of you have a Shop account? They can check out that way. And they're in, like, Shopify is like in, I mean,
it's in 175 and 195.
Yes, almost every single country they are. Yeah. So massive upgrades coming down the road, not tomorrow. Okay. But look forward to that. Get building today so that you are ready to be able to have that be a big driver in your business. So
it is happening in 2026.
Yes, it is. It is really awesome. Absolutely, Linda.
All right. So here's the simple formula. ITT. It's not new. It's getting back to basics. The invite, the tool, the team. Why? Because it's simple. It's duplication friendly. And as I said, everything duplicates, because whatever your approach is, good, bad, or indifferent, your prospects are learning how it's done. And if sometimes you talk to somebody, they seem enthusiastic, and then all of a sudden they go off the radar into the witness protection program and they're not even returning your text, it's because something they saw, which led them to believe was uncomfortable, that they would have to do the same thing. 95% of the time, that's what happened. So when it is simple, it's duplication friendly, and it's effective. You have people engage rather than you're putting up wanted posters all over the place because you haven't seen your best friend in a while and they're not returning your calls. And you go over to their house and you knock on the door and you can tell they're looking through the peephole, but they don't open the door. How do I know that? Because that's happened to me when I've done it wrong. So ITT in action, the invite, the tool to the team. So invite, start a conversation. The tool, share a resource once you've started the conversation and they're leaning in. And then the team, leverage the support. And I want to say this, I know we've said it a million times, but when someone asks you a question, don't ever, ever, ever answer the question if it's a prospect. That's a great question. I'd like to know the answer to that too. Even if you know the answer, you're not being deceptive. You're showing how the system works. Let me get somebody who can answer that question the best way for you. And then you're utilizing their team. So what is it doing? They don't care who answers the question, because I've never had somebody, when I say, let me get somebody on the line that can answer the question. Well, actually, let me correct that. I have. When they say, well, why can't you just tell me? It's like, I could tell you, but I want you to see that this is a team. We have a team of support. I want to show you how this works, because could I answer it? Yes, because I've been doing this business for a while. But I don't want you to think you have to know everything. So I want to show you how easy it is to get somebody else to answer your question. And when you can see how it works, you've got that same team available to you. Yeah. So when someone asks you a question in the beginning, you don't want to have to answer it. You want to be able to use the team, because people they think they have to know everything, and they don't have to know anything except who's my team of support and how do I get access to them? And you show them how.
Yeah, I think Marcy Steiner's Invite Intensive was so powerful at Momentum Academy. And hopefully they have that recorded. But she basically said that it's like, of course, people will give you some pushback sometimes. And when they, well, can't you just tell me about it? And she's like, well, of course I can. But I want you to have the same experience that I did so that you can have the same success I'm having. Right. And so that means that bringing in that third party will help lay out that foundation. Yeah. I loved how she said that so simply. Well, of course I could. Yet I want you to have the same experience that I did so that you can have the same success that I'm having.
And on that, I want to share something with you, because I did, and I'll never forget. You'll know exactly who I'm talking about as soon as I share this story. And when we said that same thing, of course I could answer the question, but I want to show you how the system works and how the team of support works. And she pressed, I want to know from you, because I want to know everything. And she gave pushback right away about she didn't want any part of the system. And guess how long she lasted in our company? Less than 2 months. Because when you break the system and you want to reinvent the wheel, you are met with miserable success. And somebody who's this was someone who had success in business at a lot of places. But the way network marketing is done and the way other traditional businesses is done, very different. And so if somebody's giving you pushback right away, it's probably a sign that they're not coachable. And being coachable is one of the most important things. So don't dismiss them, but just say, okay, try to work the system, try and try and try. And once they keep pushing back, you say, maybe then pull it away.
Yes.
Maybe this isn't for you.
That right there.
Maybe this isn't for you. When you're ready to follow the scripted system that has proven success, and you're get over your need to reinvent the wheel, when that happens, call me back, because I don't think this is for you. Now you're going to create FOMO, but stand strong. Be in control of your business. Don't let somebody with potential change that, because I've not had it one time in 17 years ever work out effectively. And this was a close one. This was a almost family member, very successful business person, very unsuccessful network marketer, because she did not want to follow the system. And we just removed it, and she has never came back in, which is good.
But yeah, well, and that's the thing too, which is good, because when you don't take it away from someone that is pushing you on how you do your own business, first of all, you're not honoring your business and respecting your business. So why should anyone else?
Right.
Right. And as Dondee said, she got in and she was out almost as fast. And think about how much stress and worry and time you spent on that person that showed themselves as who they truly are in the beginning before they even enrolled. Yet you push the situation, you let them manipulate you, and they joined the business. So, I mean, all of this that you had to deal with, that it would have been much better if just pull it. Hey, maybe this isn't for you. That's okay. I love you. Who do you know that it might be? So making sure that when someone shows themselves not to be right, to take it to that next step and ask that question, this may not be for you, but who do you know that this might be the right opportunity for, and go for a referral, because referral bases are powerful. Let's keep on going.
Yes. So create content that solves what? whatever problems people have. And so speak to the pain. So there's a lot of things that we know to be true right now. Money problems are widespread globally. Health problems are widespread globally. In fact, I've been making a lot of posts about it lately. And there's a lot of people that need hope that don't have the proper channels or the relationships or in the right spheres of influence that is offering that hope. So there's a lot of desperate people. There's also people that are looking for simplicity. We have that. Educate simply. Use a tool. And there's sparking curiosity. So if you're sharing with somebody and somebody like, have you ever been in a conversation publicly where people are talking about something, they're excited, they're energetic, and you're like, what could they be talking about? And you start eavesdropping where you weren't, because what happened? You just got, why are they so excited? You're curious about that. Why is this person's life changing? You can see someone on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, whatever you're, or just in your own neighborhood. You can see people that are changing. Oh, the neighbor just got a new car. I wonder what they're doing. Oh my gosh, they're having their house renovated. What are they doing over there? And then it creates curiosity. Well, when that happens, people will come to you, but start creating content, whether it's a conversation at somebody when you're in a line, or if it's on your social media, or both, sparking curiosity, and then invite them to a conversation. Now, if you see someone leaning in, be bold and ask, what are your frustrations? What can I help you with? You seem to be, you're responding, you're liking my comments, you're sharing them. What can I do to specifically help you? Pay attention to the engagement you're getting, whether it's somebody sending you an email because they saw something, somebody commenting, somebody liking, whatever. Once you start seeing engagement, somebody likes your stories, as an example. And thank you for helping me understand that. Helping people get engaged by watching and engaging in your content. They're watching you, not by accident, for a reason. Start the conversation.
Yeah. I mean, because if you're not following up with people that interact with you, especially the ones that interact with you on a regular basis, like if you have a storyline that has like 10 different stories in it and they've watched 7 of 10, gosh, they're like somebody that's really interested in what you're sharing. So definitely reach out and have those conversations.
It reminds me of a conversation we had in an elevator at the hotel. This person was asking us, what kind of a conference are we on? And she looked at our name tag and we said, it's a health and wellness longevity conference where everybody's excited. We're learning great things. We're having breakthroughs. And then it was our floor and we got off, but there was somebody in LifeVantage still left in the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
And the person looked at the person on the elevator who was LifeVantage, who didn't start the conversation. Well, what is this conference all about? Mm-hmm. So we just primed the pump for somebody.
And what I should have done was stayed on the elevator. It didn't matter that it was our floor. But when I was getting off, I said, it's something you should know about. And so as we were getting off, I heard him ask her, well, what is this about? So,
curiosity.
That's a good example, though, that you can start in the sharing of the information. And if you don't do what you need to do to stay in contact and follow up, you are priming that pump for somebody off. And that was a instant visualization of what that's doing. Because I hope that this woman followed through and got their contact information and is still sharing with them. But next time I'll stay on the freaking elevator. The elevator. So here, let's go. We got
the psychology of pain, physiologic pain, psychological pain. It's all the same. It's pain. And when people are in pain, the worse it gets, the longer it's been on, the more urgent it becomes to solve it. And so emotional pain, it drives decisions. And when people feel seen, when they feel special, or when Brian Byro, our breakthrough coach, when they feel important, their stress will ease, their objections will be subsided, and they will start leaning in more and trust will be developing. So feeling understood creates openness and it creates trust, and hope activates action. They hear something, they feel something hopeful. I remember when you said you felt for the first time that your body could change with it when you first got involved in this.
I felt I had hope for the first time in 18 months since my accident that I could get my mind and my body functioning at a level that I could enjoy life again. That was so powerful for me that I said yes immediately, right? Mm-hmm. That hope and that movement, that is, I mean, it's like to see a close to something I had been experiencing and didn't want for the rest of my life.
Right.
Yeah. Powerful. Boom.
All right. So your weekly action plan, daily, preferably weekly, minimally. So have 10 problem-centered conversations. Now, that's easy. That's 2 a day for Monday through Friday, and you get the weekends off still. 2 conversations a day. Imagine if you stuck to that. Imagine if you made that a non-negotiable. In 1 month, That's at least 40 conversations you started. And in some cases where there's 5 weeks, 50. And so you're going to get momentum out of that. You're going to get engagement out of that. You're going to get response out of that. You're going to build trust out of that. You're going to start building an organization of people that are following proper leadership and proper examples. And then make 3 pain-based posts on social media, whatever your platform of interest or platform especially, or platform that you are the most adept on. And if you're not, then just do it anyway and just get comfortable with it, because it's not going away. And then use a tool in every conversation rather than being the tool. Use a tool. And you will eventually get where you can be the tool when someone who has started the conversation sent a tool, and then a conversation goes to a higher level and you're brought in to answer the questions. You are going to be a utility player as your business organization grows and your leadership grows. But use a tool in every conversation and track the top needs that you're hearing. Pay attention to what else is happening on social media. Look at other people's posts. What other conversations? And I'm talking people outside of LifeVantage. And I would encourage you this. If you have a social media presence and people from LifeVantage want to have a connection with you or a friendship, let them follow you, but don't take up one of your 5,000 friends with someone else in LifeVantage. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get LifeVantage people making engagements and posts. And while that's good, it's support, it's not growing your business. And so when you have people that are outside of LifeVantage engaging and commenting and sharing and liking, that is where you're gaining momentum, you're gaining trust, you're gaining influence, and you're growing your business.
And that right there is gold, by the way, guys. I wish that we would have had people that would have coached us that way. Because I mean, it's like we've got thousands and thousands and thousands of followers and friends, and so many of our friends are part of LifeVantage. I wish that we would have been coached. Do not, use those friend spaces for people that are part of your own business, right? Because following is just as good. It's just you want to have those people connections that are actually potential prospects.
Where you can make a difference. And then identity anchor. Figure out who you are. What is it that I'm going to repeat this Mark Twain quote. The 2 most important days of your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. What's your purpose? What's your identity? What are you here for? To make a difference, if that's the case, and I think all of us have a purpose. Some of us recognize it. Tell yourself repeatedly, I don't sell products. I solve problems and I create possibilities for people. Massive, massive amounts of people. And I love this thing here. If we all did the things that we are capable of, we would literally astound ourselves because there's so much suffering in the world right now, financial and physical. And we have and social and community. There will people that will join our business because they just feel the community. They don't even care about building a business or taking the products. They just want to be around other like-minded, happy-go-lucky people. And that is infectious because there's so many negative people. The pendulum has shifted on the pessimistic side of the world, if you haven't noticed. And people are wanting positivity. They want to just be around people where they can just go, oh, I can be myself.
I added something in here that you don't even know.
I don't even know.
So Momentum Academy, like I said, it was so impactful that every time something comes up, I'm like, oh my gosh, this person said this person said that. Well, Dr. Brett Brimhall was on stage and he talked about exactly what he does and how he approaches it. He said, I help people get what they want and get rid of what they don't want. Does that sound exactly like what we're talking about and what we've been sharing in this training today? So take that on as part of your identity. I help people get what they want and get rid of what they don't want. That's it. Simply, we are serving people and helping them have a higher level of life. Period.
Yeah. He kind of revised it a little bit in the doctor's meeting. He said, I help people get more of what they want and less of what they don't want.
That's good.
Yeah, more of what they want, less of what they don't want.
Yeah.
And then I heard McCasey say, I help people say yes to their best.
Yes.
That was so powerful.
So powerful. Yeah. So again, if you weren't at Momentum Academy, guys, we get it. Life is hard sometimes, or we just maybe don't plan ahead enough. Get it done now. Get registered for Global, get your plane tickets, get your hotel rooms, get your roommates, get everything lined up. Treat this like a business, like it is. And take advantage of everything that you have in your hands to be able to help someone else have a better experience in their life.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this call, and we will see you next week.
Yes.